Hello everyone. Today we want to introduce you to our new PNCalculate. We have made a lot of changes to the look and feel of the interface. That means it has a much more modern design. We have included new functions that I would say are almost unique because no competitor has them. We log into our account, the account information should be known, and now you can already see our new interface. This header data for a new offer, for example. That means in the first field you can now say you want to make a new offer, get an archived one, repeat an ordered one, or you can select customers. Let's say as an example that we want to make a new offer for the company WiCAM and the offer goes to Mr. Eigenblut. The billing address is stored here. We can now also choose which delivery option we would like to offer the customer. X works or delivery service. We can also say that we want a delivery time within 1 working day, 2 working days, 5 working days, and of course choose a delivery address. We can also add details, whereby these are currently placeholders. These texts are freely configurable. This means you can deactivate or activate them or add your own fields as you need them. Now we choose a component. Let us say you have a request and you want to upload the data. For the component we just take a SolidWorks file and upload it to our tool. In PNCalculate you can upload all common formats. In the 2D area DXF, DWG, TOPS GEOS, ME10 files, and so on. In the 3D area you can upload a step file or an assembly of step. You can upload SolidWorks, Solid Edge, CATIA, NX, and other different formats. Here you can already see the unique aspect of our module. We automatically recognize transformations here. We can then generate a preview, and we have already recognized that there are countersinks in this component. In other words, we detect countersinks, pull-throughs, gills, and every deformation. This means that we analyze the components. I will just keep uploading some more files and say we want to upload more 3D components. I have a step file, another step file, inventor file, IPT file, and just as previously shown, upload them to our PNCalculate. And of course I can just as easily upload 2D files by simply saying we still have 2D files we also want to upload. When uploading, up to 250 components are processed simultaneously, which means that we are already checking for feasibility. Whether the material or the sheet thickness is missing, and as you can see here, we currently have 4 errors in total. All components are uploaded, and of course the sheet thickness is already set in the 3D model. Here you can say, for example, that you already know your 3D components. I cannot change the sheet thickness either, but I want it to be connected with my material. Your materials are listed here. In this scenario, I can just say my material consists of structural steel. I want this twice, and we need this part 5 times and this part 10 times. We can now choose all of our components except for my 3D components here, and I want to edit these as well. And of course I want to connect data with my currently marked 2D components. We say we need all of them 10 times. We have a material, we have a sheet thickness of 1.5, we want to calculate this for a specific laser system or a combined system. In other words, I have a Trumatic 1000 in this example. I have a flatbed laser with 8 kW power output, a 3030 Classic which is a 4 kW system. I would also like to add a bending machine in this scenario. That means we can already connect a bending machine for the time calculation. But here it comes. I'm already saying that this is unique in the market. We have a 3D simulation for the components. You can of course implement custom fields if you want to. You want to deburr, varnish, powder coat, or trovelize. Maybe you have a phase cut. You can define all of this with PNCalculate. Now, as we can already see, the components are listed here. You can see the components here. We no longer have any errors. This means we can start to simulate the calculation, respectively start the bending simulation. I have implemented a Trump bending machine in advance, and you can see a green symbol here. This means that these components can be bent. We start the simulation. No competitor on the market offers this. During the calculation, you can see the bending simulation of how we bend the part. You immediately see the feasibility. You see the number of bends. You have a small film that you can watch of how the part is bent. Collisions are recognized and the deformations are displayed here. This means that a complete calculation runs in the background. With your bending machine, with your tools and a feasibility check, whether this part is feasible or not. Now we go to the calculation. We can adopt various settings in the calculation. Do I want, for example, to have a single variety calculation, which means each part is nested separately with its own quantity? This would be interesting. For example, if you know you have a customer who requests 10 parts, but only orders 3 of these 10 parts. I would not use a mixed calculation because the price would be more favorable with a mixed calculation. Of course, this means we can save material because we can perhaps put a part into a cutout, or we can twist the parts and nest them inside each other for more overall efficiency. Let's say the customer wants a mixed calculation because I know that when they inquire, they always order everything straight away. Now the part is actually programmed in the background via the programming software for the implemented laser or combination machine. The simulation for the bending machine, which we have already seen in advance, starts for feasibility and is already finished now. You have a small view for each component that you can show here. I have implemented the most important data. For example, the production time, cutting time, the total bending time and more. I just implemented all the data for more quality of life improvements. These implementations are of course freely configurable to your needs. I can also look at the whole process, like how it has been nested. Let's say I want to see the nesting result of my 2D components. Whether I take a large format or a small format, of course, I specify the panels. Here we can see how the parts are nested and everything is connected to the components. And now we start the quotation. We can change the hourly rates here again. I could grant a discount. Of course, I could also add a surcharge, which is always good. Always a 50% surcharge. Joke aside, now we already have created the quote for our customer. You can print or send it directly. Of course, you can also export the data with a CSV interface or directly with our PNConnect module, which can also be connected to an ERP system.